We are here with Eileen Joyce and Gil Lorenz, and I want to thank you both for coming down today and spending some time with us and helping our viewers handle this economy through the SCORE Consulting and the SBA. And we are going to start with the SCORE situation first. A lot of people don't really know what SCORE is all about. What is the SCORE organization?
Well, SCORE is a 45-year-old volunteer organization that's focused exclusively on providing training and advice to small businesses.
And who's involved in it? What are they?
Well, there are roughly 350 or more chapters across the country. There's a chapter here in Charlotte, and there are several other chapters in the state. The local Charlotte chapter has approximately 70 volunteers. Those volunteers come from a variety of experiences that would be in business and in the professionals, and a great majority of those volunteers would be retired, such as myself, and we contribute our time to working with individuals who want to start businesses and or businesses that are already in existence that need some type of assistance where we can be of help.
You primarily deal with new businesses or existing businesses?
We deal with both. There's no limitation, so we're going to help people get into business if they have a good idea and it's feasible, and we help them think through that project and prepare for the types of things that they need to do in terms of funding and marketing and other aspects of the business process, including helping them determine whether they're cut out to be an entrepreneur. Many people have visions of being in business but do not understand the realities of what it takes to be in business and to stay in business. In the case of small businesses that are already in existence, they may have a variety of problems. They may want to grow their business and they need help in thinking that through. They could use some funding and they need some help in how to go about that. Although SCORE is not involved in direct lending, we do understand that process and the guarantee programs that SBA has and how they work with local lenders in terms of doing that. They may have a marketing issue where their sales volume is down and they just need some ideas on how to improve the volume of their business.
So basically SCORE is retired executives. Okay,
not all retired. There are people who are active in business who want to contribute their time, but I would say, at least in the Charlotte chapter, a high percentage would be retired.
Well, let me go back to that. Experienced executives.
Yes.
Experienced executives.
Right.
And your reach obviously is nationwide. So if I have a business here and I want to open up another business, which is a similar business or any kind of new business nationwide or another part of the country, we could deal with SCORE representatives who are familiar with our situation. I guess there's some kind of communication in between the chapters.
Well, if that were needed, I mean, it's possible that if you were headquartered here in Charlotte and you wish to open a business in Chicago or throughout the country, since you are the primary owner of the business or the primary entrepreneur, it's possible that your counseling relationship would stay in Charlotte. If it turned out that there was a need for you to have access to other chapters because of local expertise, then that's certainly.
I'm going to say local expertise, demographics, that kind of thing. This way you'll get some advice from those people.
Yes, that's certainly possible if that's required. It's also conceivable that with that type of expansion, there might be a need for some team counseling where more than one counselor would become involved because they would bring various expertise to your particular need.
Right, see, I think that's a misnomer also. A lot of people think that the SBA and SCORE is just for startup businesses. It's not. It's also for experienced businesses who want to expand, and I learned that from going actually to one of the SCORE workshops. I didn't realize that myself.
Yes.
I think that's a great thing.
Yes.
Does SCORE give grants to businesses? Are grants available?
Well, anything to do with funding is not what we're going to do. I think in terms of grants, I would defer that to Eileen, who probably can speak more authoritatively on that.
Well, then let's talk to Eileen and let's talk about what the SBA does, which is the Small Business Administration. And what is the SBA all about? What do they do? Do they have direct funding? And let's just start about what the SBA's background is and what do you do?
Well, SBA is a federal agency. We've been around for over 50 years, and we have three primary objectives: to help you with counseling and training, access to capital, and government contracting. That being said, in terms of access to capital, there are no grants.
No grants, because I've seen it all the time on the internet. Get your small business grant. There are no grants.
No, the only people making money on that scheme are the guys selling the books and having the workshops at the hotels and the internets. But the Small Business Administration does not have grants to start or expand a for-profit business.
Okay.
There are grants available. There are for very specific needs and for specific types of businesses. But for the general population, the answer is no. SBA guarantees loans through banks. We don't have direct lending except under a disaster situation like a hurricane or a flood, but we guarantee the loans through a bank. So the primary...
Sort of like the FHA for
Yes.
a housing situation.
Exactly. So we're not basically the customer. They have to work with their lender, and the lender then works with us.
What is considered a small business?
Well, you'd be surprised how big you can actually be and be small. The federal government only has two size standards, large and small, and that was basically created for government procurement purposes. So you could be a manufacturer and have up to 500 employees, or you can be in construction and have $37 million in sales. So you can be quite large and still be considered small because it's in relationship to the other businesses in that industry. If you're a manufacturer with 500 employees, but everybody else in your industry has 10,000 employees, you are a small manufacturer in relationship to that.
Let's talk about then loan limits, just briefly, in relation to these businesses. Is there a minimum and a maximum loan limit that you'll guarantee as the SBA?
There is no minimum, but I see a lot of loans around $5,000. The maximum we can do is $2 million.
What can you do with $5,000? Not much, not very much.
For a lot of your micro businesses, your lifestyle businesses, somebody who's a cabinet maker, somebody who is a is a pet sitter, they can do a lot with $5,000. It's enough to get them started, do some marketing, do some advertising, get their word out. The lifestyle businesses aren't the ones that are going to be creating a big facility and hiring people. These are small lifestyle businesses.
We're going to take a short break. We're going to come back and then speak about the loan process. Okay. All right, we'll be right back.